warrior, let's talk about it. We don't talk about it enough, and that is gaming. Gaming is a social media platform. Let's think of it like that. I don't think most people think that it is. I think for some reason they think gaming consoles, gaming, they think it's some sort of form of entertainment. We've had too many parents come forward and report after something has happened, especially to boys and teen boys, that they didn't know that they're boys. They thought they were actually in their bedrooms for hours just playing games or playing with friends. They did not know the extent of the violent porn, gore, extremist things happening and sinking their hooks. And we have to talk about this because we at the Warriors are about reality, we're about truth, we're about facts. And I am telling you, there's not enough talk about this. But extremist groups and individuals are sinking their hooks into our very young. I did come across a piece yesterday coming out of Paris that a young boy, a 12-year-old, was arrested and his mother had no idea. Then she found out what he was doing online, and it was very gruesome. Now, we have algorithms here, so I don't want to go into detail, but she really thought her son was just playing video games and doing homework in his bedroom because he spent hours in his bedroom. So we have to talk about, really, I say this to you all the time, open and honest communication with our kids. We cannot let things go on in the bedrooms, right? We have to have doors open. We have to keep devices out. Let's try to get those laptops, gaming consoles in a main area where, a living room, a TV room, the kitchen area, wherever that is. We have to take these steps in 2025 because I am seeing the escalation of all of this predation really speeding up. Like on a daily basis, I'm noticing so many changes. Things start innocently enough with children. They may be online searching. I don't know. Could be a religion, could be a group, could be anything they hear in the news. After all, the news is quite heavy these days. And when I say news, I mean things that come across their phones, right? Things that they're seeing just on their Chromebooks, their laptops. And they might just innocently go to investigate this. And that could, because you remember, wherever the kids are, so are the predators, that could lead to somebody slipping in there. And that could lead to, the DMs, the direct messages, because we're hearing from kids and teens that they are getting so many messages that way. So they'll be gaming and all of a sudden they get a direct message from somebody. But there's so much propaganda being pushed at our kids. And I really want to talk about that because we have to be aware that this is going on. So what are we going to do? Remember, what would be the one thing? Well, first of all, because so many people ask me on a daily basis, so many warriors will say to me, why is this happening? Because it's about money. That is the bottom line. It is a very crass answer, but if you can manipulate, if you can control a child, if you can get, everybody addicted to the internet to buy and advertise and swipe, you're making money. But how do you also get at a culture? By poisoning the minds of children, by getting into those little brains and telling them everything they know is right is wrong and swaying their opinions. And we have so many algorithms, and it's proven online, that are detrimental to children. And now we've got bots, these chat bots even, that kids are beginning to have relationships with, adults as well, and they're not real. But because they create how they want this, chatbot to act or perhaps even look or sound or answers they want, they begin to think it's a real person they're having a relationship with. So we have to be very careful with all of this, as I like to call it, social media, that's what it's called. What is going on here? We have to understand that we have to talk to the kids. We have to know what's going on, and we can't leave kids for hours in their bedrooms doing who knows what. Listen, I used to spend hours, and I'm sure many of you did, in my bedroom. I was dancing to music. I was putting outfits together. I was doing homework. We didn't have the internet then. So we have to be very cautious of what's happening now and bring things back. I also want to talk about these children that are going unchecked. And again, we're seeing a lot of this speeding up just in the last few months. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper and ends up in this extremist kind of area. So it's completely possible. Remember what I told you, wherever the kids are, so are the predators. What else did I tell you? Dangerous algorithms online. We know about this. Addictive algorithms. The mind, it's building up and building up and building up. And then we have the consequences of that child. So start talking, start finding out, start opening your eyes and looking around. Just today it was also announced that ChatGPT, the most visited site last month with, I don't know, over 1 billion plus users, is now going into competition with perhaps X. They're going to have their own social media platform now. So we have to start worrying about a new platform, and this one will be like any other. Won't be like any other because this is artificial intelligence on steroids. So start talking to your kids. Understand gaming is where a lot of the predators are slipping in, especially with the teen and young boys. We've got the problem of sextortion, those extorting money from those who have exchanged sexual dialogue or images. We have a lot going on. But if you listen to the warriors, you're going to be on top of everything. You're going to know what's going on, and you're going to know what steps to take. Always follow lynswarriors.org. You can always write to me, lynn@lynswarriors.org. Plenty of resources on our website. You can also sign up for our e-newsletter on the website. Scroll down on the right side, lynswarriors.org. Sign up. A new one will be going out by the end of the week. And I just want to leave you with your warriors' homework of talking to your kids. Somehow, some way, break in there with, hey, what kind of games are you playing? Who bought those games, actually? Did you pay for them? I'm just throwing this out there. Especially if it's a 10 or a 12-year-old, they don't have money. These games are expensive. Know what you're buying, right? Not only read reviews, because we know a lot of them are misidentified or not age appropriate. They might say 12, but they really have adult content. So there's a lot of slippery kind of things going on. But if I can leave you with one piece of advice directly from the warrior herself, do not allow devices in the bedroom. I know it cannot, it's not easy, but it must be done because the predators, why let them control your child? You're the parent. Take action. Make sure you always wake up each and every day, talk to your children, know what's going on, keep your eyes and ears open, and go out and be a warrior.